exist, I can't believe an agency, a military, or any of it would cease investigating and taking reports maybe a different way or something. I just can't believe they would come back and say, well, we don't feel they're a threat. I don't buy that, because you know what? We look at virtually every country, well, except maybe Canada, is a military threat. And so, I mean, if you have something that is unknown and reports of people claiming to be abducted, people disappearing, the FBI saying people are disappearing yearly, a huge number, but they don't know where they're going. Maybe they're going to Havana. I don't know. But I mean, I don't understand why they would actually close it. Or did they really close it? Maybe they closed the name of it and opened up some other deeper investigation.
Well, I think that we, as the public and as UFO enthusiasts, we've been a little bit naive. I think that there's an answer to that question, Gary, and this is what it is. Project Blue Book, as we know it, was the Air Force's public relations program in dealing with the public's interest in UFOs. There's an entirely separate issue, and that is any UFO activity that is related to any military bases and government equipment and property and personnel. And that, of course, is investigated. You know, if a UFO lands on a runway in front of a plane and blocks it from taking off, that's obviously investigated. Or if a UFO is found, is sighted near a nuclear installation, you know, that's investigated and followed up on. If a UFO hovers over a missile silo and messes with the launch codes, they're going to investigate that, okay? But that's all at the military level, and that's not disclosed.
To me, the research I've done on Project Blue Book, I think it was more disinformation than doing what they were supposed to be doing, or they let the public think they were doing. I think they were trying to convince the people basically that UFOs don't exist. And I think that's what they were trying to do. Now, I could be wrong, but I just got from all the research I've done on it, certainly it wasn't looking like they were trying to prove that they exist. It was more trying to convince people when they did take reports that, well, maybe it was a weather balloon. Maybe it was this or this or this or that.
Oh, there are lots of instances of that, and the ultimate product was the Condon Committee report, which basically took the position that the UFO issue is a non-issue and that scientists need not be involved in it. And the major media ran with that, and the major media pretty much put that to bed, and they forgot about the UFO issue. And so scientists have not had the motivation to be involved in this field, basically because of that. You can go back to the Condon report, and that put a lid on this whole affair.
I think you're so right. Now, for the next minute or two, is there a website people can check, out? Do you have a website, a Facebook page, anything, a way if somebody wants to get a hold of you on some type of document they feel that you should be able to read? How can they get a hold of you, Tom?
I have a blog, Gary. It's tomwhitmoreblog.wordpress.com. That's tomwhitmoreblog.wordpress.com. I'm also on Facebook. Just look under Tom Whitmore. And I'm on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @TomTulsa. That's @TomTulsa.
Interesting. Now, is there anything you want to say before I let you go this evening?
I'd just like to say, Gary, that in my quest to understand the history of the MJ12 affair and the elements of the MJ12 legend, that I'm looking for facts, I'm looking for data, and I'm going to go in the direction that the data and the facts lead me, and I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. That's my intention.
And how long have you been into this right now, the MJ12?
I've been into it since the 90s, and I was, I had responsible jobs had a career and I had a family. I raised a family and was married for 23 years. And lately I've been able to retire. So now I can devote full time to this.
Well, good. Well, hey, if anything comes up and if you want to come on the show, you know how to get a hold of me, Tom.
You bet. And thank you so much for having me on.
Well, Tom, it's always a pleasure having you on.
Okay, thank you.
You have a good night, sir.
Pleasure being here.
Take care.
Good night.
Night. Well, anyway, yeah, it just makes me wonder, seriously, what is going on? Are we being deceived by the government? Is there documents out there still floating around that proves that we're being visited? I don't know. What do you think, James?
Oh, I definitely think there is. You know, it makes me think back to a document I seen. Oh, and I was doing a lot of research into this subject. And this was 25 plus years ago, maybe 28 years ago. And I really think the document was legit, and it was from somebody that had worked, you know, and had some top secret clearance. And it had stated that we knew of 168 different types of aliens that have come here in one shape or form or another over the last millennia or whatever. And that was almost 20-some years ago. To think that was then, if that was legit, can you imagine what's been going on for the last 20-some years? So, yeah, I think there's a lot going on we don't know. I don't think as a whole the human society could handle the truth necessarily. Maybe they can, but
I don't think so. Think about it.
I don't need.
What is going on right now with this virus?
Right.
Okay. You know, our president just announced here a few hours ago. He said, "Well, maybe this virus it's hitting will just go away one day." I you know, people are freaking out. Seriously, I'm hearing it on different groups on end. You know, we got a local town group. It has 22,000 people in Gig Harbor. And people are concerned in that group, too. You got two people. You got one group of people that says, it's nothing more than a cold. You got the other person panicking. But when you go into the stores and you can't hardly find any toilet paper, you can't find certain foods because they're sold out, that's telling me people are buying food, stockpiling it. They're panicking. Now, people are panicking. And it's only going to get maybe worse. Hopefully, this thing won't get very bad, and that'll stop it. But when you have the Federal Reserve come out and drop the interest rate, because they already realize it's already what's been happening in the last couple of weeks has really affected the economy. People aren't going to work. A lot of them, China is virtually all shut down for manufacturing. It's starting to ripple effect into our country where it's, the stock market is crashing. Could you imagine if a UFO crashed in L.A. County? How many people would freak out and panic? Or in Nebraska or Virginia, anywhere where it was a populated area and people saw dead alien bodies. You don't think people wouldn't panic? It would be a lot worse than what's going on about the virus, I'll tell you that.
Exactly. And just to gauge it, even now with the virus, if just on a low standard 20% of our country freaked out, that's a lot of people freaking out, and that causes an effect, like you said, is causing an effect on the economy. The Federal Reserve even lowered it to 1.5 or 1.5 points or whatever it was to help. But that says something. And then, like you said, you've got people saying, oh, it's nothing, and others that they react. Look at your state. You can't even get bread or milk or toilet paper.
Well, that's because we have 6 deaths. Now, I'm trying to not overreact. I just tell people what I read and, from the news service I subscribe to and Googling, okay? And people, emailing me, because I get a lot of people that are emailing me. They're concerned. Yeah, I think this is going to be bad, but I don't think it's going to be a major like in 1918 where 50 million people perished from it. Yeah, we're going to have people die from a cold, matter of fact, depending on your age. A lot of people die each year of the flu because their immune systems are weakened because of their age, or maybe they have cancer, or they got other underlying health issues. Okay? So, yeah, the people pass on from that. A lot of these people that have this virus don't show any more symptoms than cold. But there's a lot of disinformation going on. People telling people, well, hey, there's ways you can check and see if you have this virus. What you want to do is hold your breath for 10 seconds. And if you start having a dry cough, then there's people saying, well, here's one way to keep from getting it. Drink a lot of liquid. Keep your throat from forming mucus. I mean, people are spreading. It's crazy. The best thing you can do, like I said earlier, wear clean clothes, be sanitary, wash your hands numerous times a day, wash your face numerous times a day, go get diaper wipes and whatever after you use, what do you call it? Something to, wash your hands with alcohol on it. But be prudent. That's all you have to do. And yeah, some people are going to die. Some people die from the flu. But if we overreact, people are going to start coming down with the symptoms that probably doesn't even have it. But if people act this way over a virus, what I'm saying is, if they heard tomorrow that, yes, people are being abducted and they're made into barbecued ribs, they're going to be a lot more freaked out over that than this virus thing. So, I mean, the people now are getting nervous. If it starts happening in your state, James, and everybody else is listening to in their state, their town, and then there's more deaths going on everywhere, then people are going to get where they panic. Now, I don't know how it is in other areas of the country, but like I said, something is going on because people are stocking up on food and emptying the grocery stores like mad. I mean, I'm going to post some pictures of our local stores, big stores, tomorrow up on our our website. And it'll show you long shelves, like 100 feet long with virtually nothing on it. That's how bad some of these people are reacting.
Yeah, and I got to say, you go to some of these stores, especially the one that starts with a W, take some handy wipes with you, some kind of rubbing alcohol, because there's a lot of people touching those carts and everything. Try to just stay vigilant. And again, they've got wipes there, or bring your own. Keep it clean. Wipe up after it. And, one of the things I reported on one of my news stories tonight was in your state there, they think that this disease could have been around up to, weeks before we ever knew it. Before it ever showed any symptoms or signs. So we don't know. We really don't know enough about it yet. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah. And some people can carry it for weeks before they get sick. Or some people can carry it and never get sick, but pass it on to others. That's scary. And then, like I reported last night, because we got to go here, but I'll say this, a big fad right now. These stupid fads, like you have the bucket challenge where you pour ice water over yourself. All weird things. The big fad now coming out of Asia is licking doorknobs. Now, if you want to get the virus, go lick a doorknob and post it up on YouTube to become famous. I mean, if you're looking to get the virus, go lick a doorknob somewhere, where people are touching it all day long. And while you're doing that, why don't you just go there and lick the windows, too, while you're at it?
I got to say, if somebody says something involved with licking knobs and windows, don't do it. It don't even sound good.
I know. And I got a funny feeling it doesn't taste good.
No. Gee. Oh, that's a one way. That's like playing Frogger with real cars and going across the street. Don't do it.
Good show tonight. Great guest, Tom Whitmore. Again, I want to thank him for coming on the show. Very informative. And, I really enjoy when he's on. He has a lot to say. James, you did good with the news tonight. I want to thank you for being the news director. And everybody out there that listens to the show, Barbara, and everybody else, have a great evening. We'll catch you tomorrow on Night Dreams Talk Radio. Say goodnight, James.
Good night, everybody.